On the daytime soap series Days of Our Lives, Doug Williams and Julie Williams have a love story that is considered to be one of the most significant and durable in the city of Salem. They have been through everything together, from the good times to the difficult ones, and they have triumphed over every challenge that life in Salem has presented to them. Julie has found herself in the position of needing to provide care for Doug, who has been battling with a number of health difficulties throughout their golden years. Julie has been in this position for a lengthy period of time. Even if it is not always easy, Julie places a high importance on the responsibility of taking care of the guy she loves, despite the fact that it frequently presents challenges. Julie considers this time period to be a new chapter in their lives, one that is just as significant as any other chapter. This is due to the fact that they have created a lot of memories together while they have been together. What to do in the morning to get ready, as well as some reminders. There is a lovely glow that is thrown on everything that Doug and Julie's house comes into contact with. When the morning light enters the house, this light streams through the windows and illuminates the entire house. In spite of the fact that she is in the process of preparing Doug's breakfast, Julie is up early and quietly strolling around the kitchen. As a consequence of the fact that she is aware of the fact that he takes pleasure in his coffee, she makes certain that it is prepared in the manner that he prefers, which is to say that it is cold, robust, and with a dash of cream. During the time that she is arranging the table, she becomes aware of Doug's footsteps heading down the corridor. As she walks up to greet him, she says, "There you are, my handsome man," with a warm smile on her face. "I am so happy to see you." Doug's spirit is just as bright as it was when he was younger, regardless of the fact that he is moving a bit more slowly these days. His face lights up whenever he sees her, and despite the fact that he is moving a little more slowly. The response that Doug provides is, "Good morning, sweetheart," and he does it with a gleam in his eyes. Were I able to pick up on the scent of coffee all the way from the bedroom into the living room? One of Julie's laughs can be heard. "When you came out to see me, I was aware that you would be coming out here. If you would, please take a seat, my darling. There is a breakfast that is ready to be served." Next, after escorting him to his seat, she takes a seat opposite of him in the same chair. In the course of their conversation, they talk about inconsequential topics, such as the weather, the individuals they met at the Horton Town Square the other day, and memories from a variety of earlier journeys. The fact that Doug periodically forgets information that is not particularly significant is something that Julie notices, and she fills in the blanks for him in a sympathetic manner because she does not want him to feel embarrassed or frustrated. Doug takes a brief pause, and as he does so, he looks at you with a kind smile on his face. "To tell you the truth, Julie, I don't make it a point to express how grateful I am for you, but I am truly grateful. I am always reminded of how blessed I am to have you by my side throughout my entire life during each and every day." When Julie accepts his hand, she gives it a light tap on the palm of her hand. "Oh, Doug, it seems that I may be the one who is fortunate in this situation. Because the life that we have had together has been so great, I have no intention of ever leaving at this point." Maintaining the vitality and health of the spirit. In order to provide Doug with an opportunity to breathe in some fresh air, Julie takes him to Horton Town Square as soon as breakfast is completed. Because she is concerned for Doug's health in particular, she is of the opinion that it is of the utmost need to keep up an active and social lifestyle whenever possible. While they are making their way into the plaza, a few people who are already familiar to them, such as Jennifer, Abe, and even Roman, stop to greet them. Roman is one of the individuals that stops to greet them as they arrive. "Doug, are you my friend?" These remarks come from Abe, who is patting Doug on the shoulder at the time. "It's wonderful to see you exploring the city in whatever way you like. The way you are doing is as follows." Douglas flashes a big smile, demonstrating that he is clearly enjoying the attention. "Certainly, Abe. You are familiar with me. I have not passed away, much to the delight of my wonderful wife, who is present at this time." Julie gives out a big laugh in response to Doug's positive attitude, which she finds encouraging. "Are you suggesting that we are going to take things one day at a time, Doug? Can you confirm this?" The group laughs and shares a few stories, which causes Doug's thoughts to go back to the good old days before the group was as a whole. He is able to forget his worries and the challenges that he has been facing when a period of time has passed. In her observations, Julie has noticed that these occurrences have a beneficial impact on his disposition and cause him to feel more like the person he used to be. As a result of the time that they spent in the plaza, Julie takes the decision to take Doug to a little cafe that they used to frequent when they were younger. The purpose of her actions is to take Chuck by surprise. After directing him to a cozy booth by the window, she places an order for his chosen pie, which is a slice of cherry pie topped with whipped cream. She does this while she is guiding him to the booth. Doug's eyes light up with excitement, and he lets out a delightful chuckle as soon as the pie is delivered. And with a smirk on his lips, he utters the words, "Ah, cherry pie." When I think of this, I am taken back in time. Do you remember, Julie, when we would sneak out of the house late at night to get a slice of pizza? Do you remember that? Julie responds with a chuckle and a head nod. Why was it that I could have forgotten? I can honestly say that those were some of the most memorable evenings of my whole life. There is no reason why we cannot have a pie together, even though we are no longer able to sneak out of the house at night. This does not mean that we cannot enjoy a pie together. A short-term period of being exposed to danger. Doug seems to be a little more fatigued than he generally is when he returns to his house, which is getting closer and closer to the evening. As soon as Julie spots him, she offers him a blanket and wraps it around him as he leans back and lets out a sigh with the intention of assisting him in resting down on the couch. The fact that she is able to observe the signs of exhaustion in his eyes acts as a reminder to her of the challenges that they are going through together. In spite of the fact that it is challenging for her to observe the person whom she loves the most going through a difficult time, she is conscious of the fact that they are going through this together. I hope things is going well for you, Doug. During the time that she is sitting next to him and tenderly stroking his hand, she asks him in a subtle tone. When Doug looks at her, there is a hint of melancholy that can be seen playing about in his eyes. Julie, there are some days that are definitely more difficult than others. Being under the sense that I am a burden to you is not a very pleasant experience. You are deserving of something more than spending your days being responsible for the care of an elderly person. His comments cause Julie's heart to break, and she begins to cry. While she does so, she cups her hands over his face and stares him in the eyes. She does this while she is looking him in the eyes. I want to make sure that you, Doug Williams, pay attention to what I have to say. You are not a burden, and you will never become one by any stretch of the imagination. For the entirety of your existence, you have devoted yourself to taking care of me and everyone else who is in close proximity to you. Having the opportunity to be here for you today is a great honor for me. Is it not true that we come together as a group? There are tears beginning to form in Doug's eyes as he gives a tiny nod. It gives me great pleasure, Julie. If it weren't for you, I have no idea what I would do with the rest of my life. They experience a moment that is both silent and emotional when they are caught up in each other's arms, a moment that they share together. Julie is able to feel the strength of their love, a love that has remained unshaken, in spite of every challenge and hardship during their relationship. Furthermore, she is conscious of the fact that they will attempt to overcome this obstacle jointly. Throughout the evening, there was a great deal of affection and laughter. The decision to inject some lightheartedness into their evening is made by Julie, who has already made up her mind to cheer up Doug. She plans a private movie night for them to watch together while they are just starting out in their relationship. She provides them with popcorn and an old movie that they used to watch together. When the movie begins, Doug's face immediately lights up with recognition, and the two of them immediately begin quoting their favorite parts together, laughing as if they were teenagers. As the evening progresses, they continue to share memories from their past. These stories include accounts of their travels, their experiences, and even their minor disagreements, which, when viewed in retrospect, look to be extremely hilarious. There is a reverberation of Doug's laughter across the room, and for a fleeting instant, Julie recalls him as the bright and exuberant individual with whom she fell in love all those years ago. The movie is drawing to a close, and Doug lets out a sigh of contentment as he settles back into his chair. It gives me great pleasure, Julie. The fact that you are here today makes today a truly fantastic day. The fact that you always have a complete comprehension of what it is that I require is something that I have no idea how you manage to do. Julie flashes a grin toward him when she is holding his hand. All I want to do is make you happy, Doug, she stated in response. My entire life, I have only ever craved just one thing. At the end of the day, expressing thanks for anything. During the process of getting ready for bed, Doug turns to face Julie and offers her a look of appreciation as he does so. I consider you to be my guardian angel, Julie. It is a source of blessing that I am able to spend time with you. Whatever happens, I am certain that we will be all right as long as we are together. I am convinced that we will be fine regardless of what happens. At the same time that Julie is squeezing his palm, she is feeling a prickling sensation in her eyes. Doug, I am right here, sitting next to you. You have my support. Through every high and every low that we face, we are in this together. We remain in this together. In all honesty, you are my heart. During the evening, as they are drifting off to sleep next to one another, Julie is overcome with a sense of peace that washes over her. Although she is well aware that the road that lies ahead will not always be straightforward, she is well prepared for it. The responsibility of taking care of Doug is not a hardship. Rather, it is a privilege and a way to acknowledge the love that they have developed for one another over the course of their relationship. In the same way that he has never failed to be there for her, she is able to go to sleep with the assurance that she will be there for him in the future. A sparkling example of hope and perseverance, the story of Doug and Julie Williams' love continues to shine brightly in Salem. It is a story that continues to shine brightly. In spite of the fact that they are experiencing challenges, they are tackling those challenges with the same love that has enabled them to triumph over everything that has come before. When it comes to Julie, there is no other location she would rather be than right by Doug's side during each and every one of the final minutes that they have together. She would not want to be anywhere else.
Throughout the course of Days of Our Lives, Salem is portrayed as a town in which everyone is acquainted with one another and families remain united through thick and thin. It is especially true that the Horton and Kyriakis families have deep roots and are loyal to one another. One of the most cherished matriarchs in Salem, Maggie Horton Kyriakis, has recently been going through a difficult time, as she has been burdened by the ongoing upheaval that has been occurring within her family. Sarah, her daughter, observes Maggie's melancholy and makes the decision to take action in response to her feelings. The goal that Sarah has set for herself is to cheer up Maggie and bring to her attention all of the joy that is still waiting to be discovered. Sarah's strategy to make Maggie's day more enjoyable. In the wee hours of the morning, Sarah arrived at the Kyriakis mansion and discovered Maggie sitting by herself by the window, looking out at the garden. She appears to be looking away, with a look in her eyes that conveys feelings of desire and grief. Maggie is clearly missing her late husband, Victor, who was a constant presence in her life. Sarah is able to ascertain that Maggie is experiencing this loss. Maggie's heart is no longer the same after the death of Victor, and Sarah is aware of this fact. However, it is now that she is resolved to bring some light back into the world that her mother lives in. Sarah utters the words "Mom" in a soothing tone, while placing a reassuring hand on Maggie's shoulder. The question is, why don't we do something unique today? Despite the fact that Maggie's eyes are now focused on her daughter, there is still a trace of melancholy in them. "Wow, Sarah, I'm doing great. Even though I have a lot on my mind, there is no reason to be concerned about it." Sarah is not persuaded by this. As she knows that her mother might need some encouragement, she gives her mother a gentle grin. "Mom, you need to hurry up. This is a picture-perfect day. Let us get out of this place and engage in some enjoyable activities. Remember when we used to go on trips together as a mother and a daughter? What do you say we go out like we used to?" Maggie is hesitant, but Sarah's joy radiates across the room. After some time has passed, Maggie gives out a tiniest of laughs. "Sarah, I'm good to go. It wouldn't hurt to get a little bit of fresh air, would it?" A stroll down the lanes of memory. In the vicinity of Salem, Sarah makes the decision to take Maggie to a few of their old favorite places. They begin their journey by going to a charming little cafe, which is a place where they used to go on Saturday mornings. The tiny cafe maintains the same comfortable environment, which is filled with the smells of freshly prepared coffee and baked goods. In addition to the customary beverages, tea for Maggie and coffee for Sarah, they also go ahead and order a slice of Maggie's particular favorite lemon cake. Sarah starts telling Maggie humorous stories from her time spent working at the hospital as they continue to sip their beverages. She is attempting to put a smile on Maggie's face before she leaves. She shares stories with her about patients who have peculiar requests, the antics of her coworkers, and the occasional hospital mix-up that makes everyone chuckle. As Maggie continues to listen, her laughter gradually becomes more genuine, and her spirits improve in a way that is visible to everyone. Have you ever thought about the time when you would bring me here at the end of a long day? There is a reminiscence. You would listen to me tell you everything that happened throughout the day, regardless of how exhausted you were. Maggie flashes a grin, and her eyes seem to light up with affection. Yes, I do recall. In the past, Sarah, you always had a lot of energy. At that time, I was happy for you, and I continue to be. Every once in a while, I find myself wondering where you got your strength and compassion from. Sarah gives her mother's hand a gentle squeeze. "I come from you, Mom," she said. "You are my rock, and you will continue to be so forever." An excursion to the town square of Horton. Following the completion of their tea and cake, Sarah proposes that they travel to Horton Town Square, which is the location where they had created some of their most cherished experiences as a family. As they make their way across the area, they come across friends and acquaintances, many of whom stop to offer Maggie a warm greeting. Salem is a community that is very close-knit, and people have always looked up to Maggie because of the grace and kindness that she possesses. Maggie begins to emerge from her shell as a result of the warm greetings she receives from her long-lost friends, which serve to remind her of the robust support network she possesses in Salem. While they are walking, they make a halt at the Christmas tree that is located in the middle of the plaza. This tree is always decked out with decorations that are personalized for each member of the Horton family. Maggie is reminded of previous holiday festivities, the laughter that they all experienced, and the unity that they all shared as she sees the tree. For a fleeting instant, she shuts her eyes and touches one of the ornaments that bears Victor's name on it. He was a complicated man, but he loved us, Maggie murmurs, her voice brimming with emotion as she whispers the words. "Sarah, I'd miss him so much," she said. As Sarah does so, she encircles her mother's shoulders with her arm. "I am aware, Mom. However, he is never far from us. All of the recollections and the smallest of the things that he left behind are here to serve as a constant reminder that he will never be truly gone. Additionally, you are still surrounded by a great deal of love." Maggie gives a slight nod, getting power from Sarah's wording. "You are absolutely correct. His wish would be for us to continue living and to continue creating new memories. I must bring that to my attention," concluding the day with a unique and unexpected surprise. Following a lengthy day that was filled with feelings of melancholy, Sarah has one final notion. A few of Maggie's closest friends, all of whom want to remind her of the joy that can be found in life, will be attending the party that she has organized to take place at the Kyriakis mansion. When Maggie arrives home with Sarah, they are waiting for her with a bouquet of flowers in each of their hands. As soon as Maggie enters the room, her face lights up with excitement because she sees the familiar faces of her friends and family members who are all there specifically for her. "I was taken aback, Mom," Sarah announces with a grin on her face as she observes Maggie's ecstatic response. "Oh, Sarah, you did all of this for me?" asked Sarah. The thoughtfulness of Maggie's daughter and friends causes her voice to tremble, and she is moved by their generosity. One by one, each individual comes forward to provide a sincere message on what Maggie means to them and how she shapes their lives. They serve as a constant reminder of her tenacity, her warmth, and the myriad ways in which she has improved the quality of their lives. During their conversation, her friend Julie praised Maggie for her kindness, while Roman praised her for her strength. Each and every story, as well as every good remark, brings a smile to Maggie's face, and she comes to the realization that she is loved beyond measure. As people share their memories of Maggie and raise their glasses to her, the evening is filled with laughter and even a few tears among the attendees. She is experiencing a weight being lifted off of her shoulders for the very first time in a very long time. She comes to the realization that even if Victor is no longer with her, the love that they shared continues to exist in everyone who is around her. Maggie pulls Sarah away and gives her a bare embrace as the gathering is coming to a close. "I am grateful to you, my darling. I had no idea that I required this to such an acute degree." While smiling, Sarah is a little tearful in her own eyes. "When you want, Mom. Due to the fact that you have consistently been there for me, I wanted to demonstrate to you that I will continue to be there for you as well. Renewed hope as we look forward to the future." On that particular evening, while Maggie is getting ready for bed, she has a refreshed sense of tranquility. Even though she has been through challenging periods in her life, she has come to the realization that there is still a great deal of beauty that she has yet to experience. She recalls the words that Victor used to say to her, how he would encourage her to be courageous and to live her life to the fullest. Maggie vows to herself that she will take that piece of wisdom to heart, that she will live each day with a purpose, and that she will treasure every time spent with the people she cares about. Maggie is comforted by the thought that she is surrounded by friends who will always be by her side as she drifts off to sleep. She feels lighter than she has in a long time, which is a feeling she has not experienced much of in recent times. At the end of the day, she is confident that everything will be fine. As a result of Sarah's assistance, she has discovered a reason to smile once more, and she is really grateful for this situation.